How does one evaluate a building for purchase?
Okay, that's a great question. First goal is not to overpay for a property, because if you overpay, then you're going to have to over-rent the property, and then you're going to have higher vacancies, and it's just not going to really be a good investment for you. So there are 4 metrics to evaluate a piece of property. I want to give you all 4, but then I'm going to tell you the most important ones that I think. Okay. There's a cap rate, okay, which is the net income into the purchase price. Our users can Google this. Yeah. So we'll just go over them.
The cap rate.
Cap rate. Gross rent multiplier, which is the gross rent into the price.
Yep.
There's a price per foot, which most people are familiar with that who invest in residential real estate. Sure. And there's price per unit. 10 units for $1 million, you have $100,000 per unit. Yeah. Okay? I think price per unit on smaller deals and cap rate are the most misleading indicators of value. Okay? I personally feel like price per unit is the best indicator. Okay? So what a user or investor would want to do is find out the average price per foot in that submarket. So if they're investing in Santa Monica in that submarket, what is the average price per foot of that property? Yeah. Right? So if you have a 5,000 square foot property and $1 million, you just figure out what that price per foot is. And so once you figure out what that price per foot, you also look at the GRM, the gross rent multiplier.
Right. And where do you want that to be typically?
Well, it depends on the submarket. So if you have a property that has $100,000 of gross income and it's $1 million, that's a 10 times gross. Yeah. The lower the GRM, the better the investment. Yeah. If you have a property that has $200,000 of income and it's $1 million, it's a 5 times gross. Anything under 10 times gross right now is considered a good deal in a decent area. Yeah.
That's you're talking about the gross rent multiplier.
Gross rent multiplier, right?
Yeah.
Most investments you look at under $200 a foot, and that seems to be a decent price for newer product. Yeah. The other thing is you have to look at the vintage of the product. So in Long Beach, we have 20s, 60s, and 80s. Those are the 3 types of properties. So you have to compare 80s property to 80s property, 60s property to 60s, and 20s to 20s.
You're talking about year built.
Year built, that's right.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that so our listeners are clear. So year built, 20s, 60s, 80s.
So if you're investing in a 1920s property, you need to look at the average per foot for all the other 1920s properties.
Got it.
Tony, if I would have known this 10 years ago, I would have saved myself a lot of money because I made a lot of decent investments and I made a lot of bad investments because I didn't really understand price per foot.